Okay, Zoe Lux. So Zoe Lux is one of the control decks that's up on my website. This variation that we're playing right now is a little bit different than what's up there. It's close in a lot of aspects, but the one thing that this build is notably looking to do is that it's playing 4 copies of Grizzled Ranger. And Grizzled Ranger with the scout mechanic and it's summoning another thing when it dies makes it very good with the Grand Plaza, which is one of our premier control cards in the deck. My concern with Grizzled Ranger is that because our deck is a more controlling deck, I am worried a bit that Grizzled Ranger is just going to be too mediocre of a card when we don't draw Plaza, because this is basically just an aggressive card when we don't draw Plaza, and our deck really isn't one that's looking to be aggressive consistently. So I'm interested to see how this feels. Lux is our top end in this deck, a 4/5 for 6 with Barrier. When you've cast 6+ mana worth of spells, she levels up and gives you a Final Spark, which helps you control the board. Her leveled mode continues to play Final Sparks as you cast 6+ mana worth of spells, which is why we're playing things like Remembrance, Star Shaping, and Succession is a card notably that doesn't see a ton of play, but I think it's good with both Lux as well as good with Plaza. Because this is a spell, it notably gets played with spell mana, which means if you play Grand Plaza on 3 and you're attacking on odds, you can Succession right after if you've banked spell mana. So one thing to note in this build is that Targon Plaza builds have gotten popular again since the Pack Your Bags nerf. I do think that these Lux builds are pretty bad against the bigger Oriental variations. However, I think the Lux builds are much better in most of the mid-range and aggressive matchups where people are trying to get under you. A 6 mana 4/5 with Barrier is much better defensively early than your big go over the top 10 mana 10/10 dragon. So I think we're giving up late game equity against specifically ASOL decks in order to be more equitable against aggressive and mid-range decks. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games here with this and see how it feels today. For what it's worth, I've liked Ranger defensively against the Pursuit decks because you get 2 blockers for a turn. Sure, yeah, I could see that. It's technically a threat that generates value in a way, right? So maybe it is worthwhile and good enough even when you don't have Plaza. It's definitely something I'm gonna want to be like keeping track of and thinking about. Ecop, thanks for the follow, by the way. Welcome to the channel. Sure. Yeah, it's just an okay mid-range card. I mean, this hand's great, right? We're attacking on evens too. Let's keep all of it. This even gives us a turn 2 play, technically. We'll see what they do. If they pass, we'll just take it. So remember, in Runeterra, you can carry up to 3 mana over across turns. They are notably Twisted Fate Swain, not Easy Swain, so they're not an Aftershock deck. They could have Scorched Earth, though. Do I want to trade this for this? I guess I could just do this and attack into here. That's probably better, right? It's like slightly less resource efficient, but getting this down now seems fine. Traveler's super good with Plaza. It's like a piece of removal that invokes another thing down the line.
If I kill you, I don't fortune.
Devotion through battle.
Do I trade this for this? If I don't use the sharp sight here, it means that my opponent's going to get to open attacks us for 4 next turn. Yeah, I like keeping my life total high as well. And this discourages them from open attacking. He said before his opponent played another unit. Now I expect to get cracked for 4 here. And then honestly, I think we're just Travelering here. Yo, dog. I heard you like Travelers, so I got you Traveler with your Traveler. And then this turn, we get to go Lux into Succession and just chew their board up.
We can do this.
Am I burning 6 mana here? I'm giving up killing a 2/2 for free. Is giving up a 2/2 worth burning 6 mana? Gosh, I think it might be. I think we're definitely the control deck here. That's a great draw. So it gives us a random Demacia unit that costs 5. There's only 5 different Demacia units that cost 5. They all have 4 or 5 health and attack, and they all have some various keywords. Yeah, I think with the number of cards that he had there were correct to burn the mana.
Keep up, keep up.
So anyways, I started blasting. See if they can kill Lux here in response. Otherwise, this is going to level her. And she'll make a final spark, which can murder this Zap. Morning, Niv. And then we'll get to see how aggressive they want to be here or not. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see them just crack us for 2 here to push damage.
Let's do this.
Yeah, they're trying to burn us out.
Surprise for him. Is this what you seek?
Send more.
Star Shaping and Radiant Guardian are the best draws in our deck at this point. We are definitely looking for ways to just buffer our life total. Nawthorn, thanks for the half a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, so I was thinking about... So what happened at the end of last month was... At the end of November, Bob had very generously gifted a pile of subs. And then in December, I had mentioned that a bunch of those subs were going to fall off. And then people just gifted a bunch of subs again. So I felt like me manually saying, hey, there's a bunch of sub gifts that are going to fall off. Didn't really make sense. Like, displaying my current total sub count doesn't really give the appropriate transparency into, like, the channel status for the month. So, the new sub bar, I think, communicates better where I'm at, basically. It is basically every month, I'm gonna set the bar to 0, and it'll just count up towards the goal of 1,500. Because previously what I had been displaying was like a rolling total for the last 30 days. So it was constantly going up and going down based on as subs fell off or gift subs fell off or weren't renewed or other subs weren't renewed or prime subs fell off, etc. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the question. Zero, thank you for the very generous tier 2 and for the 23 months. Nawthorn, thanks for the prime. Welcome back. Huh. So the problem with this is I can't play this and Grizzled Ranger this turn. So I can't just like Grizzled Ranger attack, kill it, play Radiant Guardian. I think I'm gonna lead on Succession here and see what they do. Because if they play something else out after I play Succession that I can attack my Succession into and have it die, we can then play Radiant Guardian. A quarter of the way to my sword. Thank you for the quarter of your Titan o'clock. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I was peeking at some of the Magic. Magic has a new set releasing Thursday, and I wasn't sure I'm not sure if I want to poke back into that or not. I have time to decide. Victorian one, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Good morning. Okay, so now we play this, and then we can attack into these. This'll die into here, and then we'll get to Radiant Guardian. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and gem this as well. Star Shaping, best draw on the deck here still. Hush isn't terrible either, honestly. Getting to wipe Overwhelm off of this is a pretty big deal. And I played Ranger plus a 2-drop. Did I have lethal? Oh, that's a good question. I think you might be right. Did I mess that up? If I would have played this, I could have scout attacked into their 2-2. And then I would have had another 4-4. And then I would have had this. And then we would have attacked the 4-4 into here. Well, how much damage did they take last turn? They took 7. They were at 16. I would have been hitting for no, I was 1 short, right? I would have been hitting for 3, 4, 4, and 4 because 1 would have had to hook into the Pharaon. I would have had 3 4s and a 3. I didn't count that, which was a mistake. I definitely should have taken a second to count that, but I did not have lethal there. Well, I mean,
more myself than ever.
if they don't play a Decimate this turn, I feel like we're in a good spot. Because if they don't play a Decimate this turn, they can't kill us at instant speed next turn. So that means we don't have to open attacks. Are we hushing Swain this turn? Why would I hush Swain this turn? Can you explain? I don't understand why that would be a good play.
Their time has come.
My journey ends.
Yeah, but like them stunning the 5/5 is not a big deal because I have hush, right?
Forward in the name of the Solari.
So like this, not playing this, or not doing that in response encourages them to attack with this, to push 3 points of damage. Okay, so now we just drop this, and if they try and direct damage us, we hush this in response. And then we should be able to kill them. We theoretically die to some Noxian Fervors here, but outside of that, we should be good to go. So again, we're hushing this to get rid of that stun strongest back row enemy off of it.
Our boots are on their throat.
Strike for justice.
We'll hook this one because the rest of these are going to get overwhelmed, and this only has 4 toughness. So if we don't get burned out here, they should be dead. Nice, close game. Close game. Beating a Captain Pharaon without ever gaining life is like pretty impressive for my control deck. All things considered, it's not usually something that you see happen. This archetype often beats Captain Pharaon, but usually it involves some number of star shapings or like Radiant Guardian connecting a couple of times. Okay, I would bet, like I said earlier, that this matchup is abysmal. I think I'm full mulliganing. I think having Plaza or Zoe is really important here. Okay, we have Zoe on one. Zoe could be our leg up. The fact that they're playing Leona Asol instead of Zoe Asol, I think gives us a lot more of a chance here. I think I'm gonna do this now, because if I hit a Noodle, I want to put Noodle into play.
Riddle me something cool.
Sure. It's actually not that big of a deal. In terms of leveling Zoe, I get to play this, and then she hasn't seen Super Cool Star chart, but she's gonna make another one of those. So it's like doesn't really matter. I'm not super worried about the couple of licks I've taken from this. I think we're definitely the beatdown in this matchup on average. They have another single combat here. I get a little bit sad.
Unyielding light.
That seems fine for us.
What's doing over there?
Huh? I think I just open attacks here. While it's kind of appealing to play this and get aggressive with it, Leona would make us very sad. You generally speaking, don't want to... Generally speaking, you always want to open attacks into Leona decks. I think I just play this out now. After the fact. The fact that they've stunted my Zoes now to start, I think that probably means we're gonna die. That's a good pickup. In terms of not dying, this is a good step in that direction.
We'll follow you to the edge of daybreak.
I think I just passed here. I think I want to save all of these spells for post-Lux.
The light follows.
Her light is our sword, her warmth our armor.
Maybe I should have opened attacks with my scout there. Just finished watching the Heimer Zoe video and pure awesome. Hey, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Blizzard. Yeah. Yep. Well, they're at 20 anyways, so let's smash in.
Warning, take you. Take my skill.
I'm okay trading these off if they want to trade in. So they've effectively answered all of our cards that let us get under them. Alright.
We can do this.
So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Android, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
Now they see who I truly am. Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
Targon almost feels like it's the best region in the game. Now that's because it is. Yes, it feels that way because it is. Like if they have another fight spell, I have to just accept that we're gonna die. This is a celestial card, so it technically counts for this. I think I take this and I hope that my Lux gets to live. Next turn I'm gonna have... Alright, sweet. Lux gets to live. So next turn I get to Hush, which levels Lux, and then I get to Cosmic Inspiration, which generates another Final Spark.
To the sun.
Never back down from what you believe.
So, I think I'm burning a Hush here just to get a Final Spark.
I've been hiding.
So, every time you hit that 6 mana worth of spells threshold, it basically resets Lux's count. So even though she was at 5 out of 6, if I Cosmic Inspirationed, I'd only get 1 Final Spark. It wouldn't go to 6 and then count to 6 again. But with this sequencing, I've turned a Hush into a Final Spark, and then this will turn into another Final Spark, assuming they don't kill Lux in response here. And if this pops off without Lux dying, I think we're going to be in a very reasonable spot here. I think that's also fine. So that means Lux isn't dying. I don't get a Final Spark, but she's going to get unhushed next turn. And then with everything being huge here.
A beacon through the dark.
I think we start with Solari Priestess and see where we go from there next turn. Would love a Meteor. Falling Comet insulates us against their first Aesol. Just big game. Mr. McBiggins. Words are hard. Thank you for the 12 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Let's get you started to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, so I think we're doing this to try and draw our last Zoe. So that's a copy of Lux. What if we attack with this?
Into battle with hearts aglow.
I'm gonna attack because I drew the barrier. Yeah, yeah. There's fear in their dojo chat. They're scared. So if I hush this, it gives me a final spark, which I can then use to murder this. This does mean I no longer have something to pop Aesol's spell shield, but hopefully we're going to end up in a spot where we no longer need that effect.
Bless the faithful and fear the heretics.
Yeah, I agree that a good read is probably that they don't currently have Hush. Hell, how greedy is it to take another cosmic inspiration? Is this lethal? I kind of think it's second cosmic inspiration. Just the right amount of greedy. I like that answer. I like that answer. It's just the right amount of greedy. Hey chat, this is gonna make another final spark.
I'll protect you.
Clad in shining sunlight.
It's a nice shield bearer.
Hello, Runeterra. Let's rock.
This almost lets this kill Aesol.
A beacon through the dark.
Hey,
Scorching light.
little vampire, thank you for the Brandy Prime support. There's a lot of great people you can send that to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it my way this month and keeping me employed. Appreciate the Bezo bucks.
My, how they stare.
Sharp sight's not bad.
Shining gifts from the sky.
That's kind of annoying. It's gonna let them gain life here.
Channel our power.
Hey, Jake man, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back.
No more holding back!
Now they'll pay attention.
Obliterate! Is that a 5-5 Zoe? It is. 5-5 Zoe just hits different, chat. It just hits different. Are we gonna grind through their ASOL? Is that a thing that's about to happen? Look how sparkly!
Let's do it over there!
5-5 Zoe is the pack your bags of unit. It's quite the inspired victory. I think in spite of that game that we just played, I would bet that matchup is not good for us. That being said, not good doesn't mean unwinnable. But yeah, that was great. Keeping A sharp sight's actually probably pretty good here. It's like a counter to their combat tricks. Plaza with succession on the play sounds great. We get to bank spell mana here. With the Zoe draw, do I play Zoe on one? I feel like Plaza succession is more important in this matchup.
Shape the land and give it life.
Yeah, like this is huge, right? Punishing Waterfalls, thank you for the 38 months of support. That's a really long time. Thanks for keeping me around. Joe Creed, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate you re-up and welcome back.
My skill!
Even if they have a sharp sight here, it's only going to trade. Anytime you could kill a River Shaper and it only draws one card, that is a huge win. This card gets out of hand very quickly in the opponent's deck. Just draws them endless combat tricks that mean you basically never win exchanges in combat. So like, I traded basically only one unit for this. Like that's a huge victory for the home team.
Water changes but never breaks.
Huh? Is it just Traveler here? I think it's just Traveler. This card's so good when you have Plaza in play. And if they want to attack in here and like play another sharp sight to keep this alive, that again is a huge win for us.
Reality is just your mind somewhere another one doesn't understand, silly!
Now they see who I truly am.
Did they pass here? Do I burn their mana? I think I do. Deal.
A gift from the river folk.
So, not as good as last turn as the last one, but we're getting rid of this since only drawing 2, or at least taking it off the board. They also traded a 5 mana play for Zoe, so in terms of card advantage, they came up on this one, but in terms of tempo, we came out ahead on this exchange. We know 2 of their cards in hand now are guaranteed to be spells. Well, I guess that's not strictly... No, yeah, that is true. Yeah, obviously just...
Save your worlds. We speak with blades.
We speak with blades. Think I want to hold up Sharp Sight here. They might be thinking about burning my mana. That's an exchange I'm okay with here. My mana being burned here is fine for us. That's why I offered that as an option to them. Yep. Deal. You chose not to attack with your Fiora.
I bear a message from... Oh, hey, what's that? These woods protect their own.
Howdy, Mr. Maple Syrup. Good morning. I don't think I can take this opportunity to pass this time. I think it's important that I force a combat trick here. Hey, thanks for continuing your sub gift, Walloper. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks, Gindi.
So boring!
Rivers shape the land and give it life.
Ship time!
Keep searching.
I don't really want to hook either of these, so...
My spirit shines. Devotion through battle.
Soon, I will own a plot of land in Hoaglandia. That's very true, Mr. Maple Syrup. Thank you for the 29 months. Good morning and welcome back. Yep.
Nature blesses her followers. My life for these lands.
And this is at 3 out of 6, so the star chart plus the sharp sight here means that we get to level Lux with those, and then we can also Remembrance to get another final spark.
A gift from the river folk. Waters are still.
My journey ends. Have faith.
Read. Certainly her first kill, though. If this finds Equinox plus this would level Lux as well. Or a Crescent Strike would also do it. I might need to go separate my children very quickly. Hold on. Equinox sounds lovely here. Either Equinox this or this. I think I want to wipe their challenger off here. And then if I bank Spell Mana this turn, I can actually double Remembrance next turn, which would double trigger Final Sparks.
Better, brighter than before.
And they don't have Riposte Mana available here, so this Final Spark should murder the Fiora. Yeah. And even if this one wasn't killing the Fiora, like, we should have enough Final Sparks lined up next turn that they're not going to have a shot. Are they going to, like, trade here instead and then make me Final Spark this?
Intruders.
They're just going to push on my life total a little bit. Oh, they're just marking damage on Lux, sure.
Try me, I dare you.
Do they play a 3-mana barrier? Not usually. The 3-mana barriers only give a barrier. They don't do anything else. I think this Lux deck is one of the best in the current format. I don't have enough data to make an estimation like that, Daniel. There aren't really any Lux decks that are super popular. I like this Lux deck a lot. It's felt reasonably competitive to me. But things like most competitive are measurements you should make with objective data, not with your feelings. I don't have relevant sample sizes to make an objective call with this one way or another. Ooh, Scout Dorko. The moose is loose, chat. The moose is loose. That's their best possible there. They have a single combat to pair with it. They have single combat to kill Lux in response here. They could end up in an okay spot. They don't have single combat. I think we're still okay. Yeah, it's important that I kill this turn. Then I'm gonna go ahead and try and attack the Scout into here, because if they have a way to stop this from hitting it, I want to be able to Final Spark this again and then hook it with this one, because it's very important that I kill this turn. I don't have another answer to it. Yeah, it's exactly the sequencing there. Wallaby. We'll laser it to break the barrier. We'll attack, challenge it, and then we'll laser it again. Starting with the Scout hooking in here plays around Sharp Sight as well. Because if I attack with this, hit it for 6, and then I Final Spark it, they could Sharp Sight to leave it at 1. So this leaves me the ability to kill this through a Sharp Sight. So it's just very important that I take this off the table this turn. This was definitely the best card they could have in their deck at this moment. Takes a lot of my resources to cut through it when most of their other cards would just get overwhelmed. The fact that I've drawn double Plaza here is a really big deal. Wow. Oh, they must have. No, wow, they didn't kill her before she made the second Final Spark there? No reason to attack in here. There's a barrier on it. I think if we can dodge a second Bright Steel, we could be in an okay spot here.
Go down, will you?
Yeah, maybe they thought we couldn't kill it. That's fair. Offered to end the round. Deal.
What once was two, now is one.
Time to get rowdy.
Attempt to kill you. Obviously, single combat gets them out of this, but definitely willing to try here. Judgment's not likely out of them. They could have Concerted Strike. They had 5 cards in hand here, so they could have a bunch of tricks. It's notable that I hooked these two last and set these up first, because if they have the barrier that gives lifesteal, this is still lethal. They die before we get to here. So even if they have lifesteal barrier, they're still dead here because of the way I sequence my attackers. So generally speaking, because of things that can give lifesteal in corner case situations like that, you want to put your challengers last if they're not at full life. Right, yeah, Lux Zoe's been feeling pretty sweet. This deck was good last time we played it too. Grizzled Ranger's been reasonable, passable, serviceable, whatever you want to call it. Turn 3 Remembrance is probably pretty good in this matchup. I'll look in the rest of these. It would be a little bit better if we were attacking on odds.
Fight or die.
Yeah, like if they open attacks, we're only taking 3. The fact they didn't have a 1-drop here was real good for us. Like only taking 3 on this attack seems like a huge win for us. I would like a Screeching Dragon, please. Thanks. This Twitch stream was pre-recorded in front of a live Twitch audience. Obliterate! Having a hard answer to one of their 6-drops here is ideal. You know what? Deal. Huh? Yep. These each level Lux as well. I think Plaza needs a nerf. No. I just got here. Jeff is playing Zoe. I'm not surprised. I do have a type.
Everywhere I go, the light follows.
I'll handle this myself.
I don't think I attack in with Lux here. I think the event that they have a direct damage spell makes that too terrible for me, so I think I just do this. Yeah, Death's Hand played around this perfectly.
By my hand.
Believe or burn.
Shine with me.
I think we do this.
Pushing my limits.
Decisive maneuvers here is a pretty big deal.
They will bleed for Noxus.
By the light.
So, it's important that I open on Falling Comet this turn because Darius's champion spell is Decimate. So I need to kill him so they're less likely to have Decimate in hand.
You know how to end this.
I think they might have a Decimate in their hand, chat.
Riddle me something cool. Stop!
They won't pass.
Okay, so if this is a bad block for my opponent because now they can't attack me. So if we draw Star Shaping, we don't die next turn. So we got it. We have to draw Star Shaping with 3 of those and 28 cards. We're dead. That block was bad for my opponent because it gave us Star Shaping as an out. Their life total was high. My deck doesn't have reach in it. Decisive maneuvers into fair on there. Unfortunately, not particularly beatable. Not without Star Shaping. We've been really bad at drawing Star Shaping today. It's not been showing up in the games where we need it. Plaza Succession sounds great. I think I'm mulliganing Priestess here. Definitely mulliganing second Plaza.
I've got your back.
Really solid curve here for us. We're gonna take a 5-ball here on 2, but we get to play this into this next turn and eat one of their things. We have this the following turn. Let's go ahead and eat their bird here. This has more utility than the 3-2. Hey, Hey, Teraptus, thanks for the continuing your sub gift. I really appreciate that. Welcome back.
Every wave is a path. Always forward.
Yes, leaving one more toughness is good against misfortune, is a great observation. This lets me eat this here. We take 3, but then they don't have a good second attack with this. Unless they want to trade into my thing that has a temporary succession boost now.
Protect and strike.
Grand Plaza is present in most Demacia decks. It is one of, if not the most played Demacia card. It is. The Grand Plaza is present in 71.6% of Demacia decks in Platinum, Diamond, and Masters. This is a format staple.
Here we go.
I think if they want to use Sharp Sight to murder Zoe, I'm okay with that. I guess actually just Sharp Sight back. So like, it's a trade seize, it's not even a murder.
Shield up.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with the trade. Leaves the board mostly empty, which is good for us. You can't get demoted between ranks, so once you hit Platinum, you can't fall back down to Gold until the season ends.
We Demacians are no easy prey. Everywhere I go, the light follows.
It does not, Brad. So the amount of mana you spend on a card is the amount of mana it counts towards Lux for. Yeah, all ranks have a rank floor, chat. You can't demote between rankings. At the end of the season, I think you fall down 8 spots or something like that. The opponent's archetype doesn't usually play single combats in Concerted Strike, so I'm assuming we're gonna get to level Lux here.
Pushing my limits.
Yeah, hitting a rank floor is a good opportunity / excuse to try new things. Yeah. Cross over into Diamond, Masters, Platinum, or whatever you're working on. Gold, silver, etc. Better tomorrow. Here's hoping there's a lot of better tomorrows coming up. Thanks for the
My
follow.
shield is yours.
I think we blast this and then plan to hook it with Radiant Guardian here.
A beacon through the dark. We're not done yet.
Hey, one of the people in the top 32 of the last America's seasonal tournament was someone who had only gotten to silver ranking on the ladder, and they qualified via the Last Chance Gauntlet and acquiring Prime Glories,
Stop you.
which is really sweet.
My suit is done.
So Lux is very likely to die next turn to whatever they play out, but I don't have any more spells in my hand either, so like it's not really a big deal.
My faith protects me.
No, don't murder my Lux. How will I ever recover from that?
Lights out.
Justice will
So, Silence, I know that you're saying that is kind of a joke, but for reference, the elitists who say data outside of Masters doesn't count, those elitists use the fact that someone who had only gotten to silver ranking qualified via the last chance gauntlet and then top 32'd the tournament to say that the structure of the seasonal tournament wasn't actually competitive. Because egotistical card game players that have put all of their self-worth into the card game that they play like to put other people down in order to validate themselves. Don't be one of those people, chat. If your success depends on putting someone else down, you're probably not actually successful and should fuck off and do some self-reflection. Speaking of Runeterra seasonal tournaments, by the way, on a happier note, on my highlight channel this afternoon, I have a segment going up talking about Runeterra's esports stuff, their structure and esports in general, and my background playing competitive Magic stuff based on a discussion we had on stream the other day. Was a good like 10-15 minute segment that I decided to clip out. If you want to hear my thoughts on some esports related stuff based on my background. For those that aren't familiar, before I started streaming full-time 3 years ago, I spent several years playing Magic the Gathering professionally in paper tournaments. Radiant Garden's actually probably absurd here, huh? I'm gonna mulligan these two looking for some more units. Perfect. Everyone knows the real way to determine what makes a person good at a game is my extremely narrow definition of it. That's some big competitive card game player energy right there if I ever saw it. Yeah, my Riot rep said they hadn't figured out who they're using for the next seasonal tournament yet, so hopefully my name will be in the discussion again. I think I play out the goat here because there's a good chance they kill this, so I want to be able to connect with at least one of these two. That's a thing I saw too. I've been experimenting with in the gauntlets the last 2 weeks. Started playing 2 weeks ago and only found starter decks, so it was easy for a season. I'm super glad to pick Prime Glory, so I assume it's technically correct to never ladder or just do gauntlets to qualify. I don't think that's strictly true, Mortex. So for reference, I do think on average not the caliber of your opponent specifically, but the quality of the average decks you play against is often a bit lower in the first matches where you start playing, but the last game in your gauntlet is always against someone else who's also playing for 7 wins. So generally speaking, your last game especially is going to be much harder than the others. But you're right, in general, the gauntlets are free to enter, so there's not a barrier to get into them. No, Menace, they did not. I assume the people that hired me have watched a ton of my Runeterra content and know that I would represent their product well on their official cast.
Are they still here?
They're confident. They're confident enough in the product that they create that they didn't make me sign a contract telling me that they would fine me if I said anything critical of their product. Because there aren't big bad things to be critical of because their product is good.
Clad in shining sunlight.
Which, for people that are new, by the way, that reference is a jab at Wizards of the Coast because Wizards of the Coast built it into some of their person's contracts that if they accidentally said something that was bad for Magic, it was a $500 fine. And if they determined they intentionally said something that was bad for Magic, it would be a termination of the contract. So, to make it clear that I'm an adult who understands how these things work, I don't think it's unreasonable to break contracts if people are bad-mouthing your product. You don't want to pay people that are going to bad-mouth your product, but a good faith contract does not include a penalty for something that you determined happens accidentally. That's where the issue is. So, like, it's fine to have a termination clause in the contract if you think the person you're contracted with is intentionally bad-mouthing your thing. You do not, however, include in there, I'm going to do something to punish you if you do something accidentally like that with no malice intended. Yeah, it's intended to do exactly what Silence said there. So it's a bad faith contract clause because that clause in the contract is intended to instill fear into the people that signed the contract so they don't speak out of turn for fear of saying something accidentally and getting penalized. It's my favorite thing about Runeterra. I actually think saying Runeterra is not Magic is the best thing about it is an incredible disservice to Runeterra as a game. And in my opinion, if the only good thing you can say about something is that it's just slightly better than something that's not great, then that thing can't stand on its own merit. There are a ton of great things I love about Runeterra. I actually have a video here. Why LOR? It's a bullet pointed list of 5 or 6 things I love about it. Is it paid off for me to have sub-only chat on all the time? Well, I don't have it on all the time. I'm only turning sub-only chat on for card games because card game players present arguments in a way quite frequently that's obnoxious, so I want to limit that a little bit. So to answer your question, no, because it's not on all the time.
Everywhere I go, the light follows.
And to be more to the point, turning sub-only chat back on for Runeterra, I've been less annoyed, and I think I've timed out one person unironically since we went to sub-only mode again. Which is like, that's the goal, right? Like, the goal was to be less aggressive with timing people out. And I've only felt the need to unironically time out one person since it changed. Spacerman, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. What about ironic timeouts? There's plenty of ironic timeouts. This is Hoaglandia. Okay, we ain't mess around with ironic timeouts.
I've been hiding my light too long.
Yeah, that too. The ability to let basically, with the ability to let non-subs send messages for channel points, it basically, so the ratio of channel points there basically ensures that before someone sends a message in my chat, they've been watching for close to an hour. And at that point, I think a new person who's watched for close to an hour, who's watched for close to an hour can kind of get a feel for like what the channel's like here and what expectations are in chat. Spacerman, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. So it's not even really sub-only mode. It's kind of like super slow mode for non-subs and regular chat for subs. I don't even think, like I said, I don't even think describing it as sub-only mode is an accurate representation of like what it is. And like, for example, if you sub for a month, you can probably chat for 2 months because over the month that you sub, if you're watching, you'll accumulate a bunch of channel points that when your sub then lapses, you'll still be able to chat a bunch. So it's basically just ensuring that the people I'm spending time answering questions from are people that are actually consuming my content and not random trolls that are just blowing in here looking to harass me and be obnoxious. Mangus Edge, thank you for the 11 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Invested viewer mode. Yeah, that's a great way to phrase it. That's true too. And that's part of why, honestly, when we had sub mode during Magic times, that's part of why I handed out mod swords, was so that way if someone said subbed for 12 months and their financial situation changed, they couldn't support anymore, the mod sword lets them chat in sub-only mode still. It won't let me spend 200 to send a message. What a scam. That's true. You cannot use the send a message in sub-only mode if you are not subbed. So I think we priestess into Radiant Guardian here. I would love a golden sister.
Justice will be served.
Twitch chat has a long, proud history of vomiting out moronic bat-seek takes during digital card games. That's a very blunt, direct way to put it. You're not wrong. Currited She, thank you for the 28 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I think our deck is actually at our deck is one of the better decks against Captain Pharaoh as far as control decks go. Between Radiant Guardians and Star Shapings. Opponent probably, oh, they couldn't axe before. You know, so they should have axed before they played this, but they couldn't. And they actually only generated 2 decimates here, right? Because their hand was so full. Sick. Sick. Should I swing 3? I didn't swing 3 because I wanted them to block the 5. I didn't want them to block the 3 instead. Maybe that's wrong. It's probably a wash, and I should probably attack for 3. I think you're right that I should probably attack for 3. I had already done my scout attack for the turn, right? Did I not do my scout attack? No, yeah, I did my scout attack already, right? Because I started with my scout attack to play this out. Don't confuse me.
Alright, let's mess some folks up.
Hope burns on.
Sinacor, thank you for the 2 months. Really appreciate you ripping that prime. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I'm pretty okay with that pass there. Get to open attacks with my scout unit here. We burned 2 mana, but I think that's fine.
They won't pass.
Yes! Resolves. Tradesies happens. Deal Reno. So I have Sharp Sight to block this. I also just have, like, Golden Sister. Let's Remembrance and see if we can hook, this could hit a Radiant Guardian here too, but there's 2 challenging units this hits. This is 40% to find something to murder Ezreal. Nailed it. Hey, Captain Command, thanks for the sub gift. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So if I gem this, Sharp Sight lets it survive Ravenous Flock. However, if I gem this, it can attack into Draven, which is appealing. And I have Sharp Sight plus Concerted Strike to murder this next turn, even if they kill this, so this exchange is fine. My opponent has a bunch of cards in their hand, but they only have 3 actual cards, right? So unless they have a Rummage to turn these Spinning Axes into real cards, we should be in a pretty good spot.
You cannot sway me.
I've been on this site for too long. The data confirms that. Spacer Amen has been on Twitch since September 12th, 2010. Man, that's a decade. Man, Twitch has been around a while, huh? I guess that makes sense, right? Because I've been streaming for close to 7 years.
Victory lies ahead.
Time flies, chat. That was my account. My account was created May 1st, 2012. This personal account of mine. So that's almost a decade. Getting close there. Noxus is pure aggro. I mean, that's not really true at all, right? I would argue my opponent's deck is definitely a mid-range deck, and things like Swain are certainly mid-rangey as well. Is there no chance I dip my feet in for Chaldeum? I'm undecided. Readily perfect. Undecided. It likely mostly depends on what my submetrics look like. If it looks like we're going to clear 1,500 for... If it looks like I'm going to clear 1,500 subs for the month, I'm probably going to stay out of Magic. If I keep clearing 1,500 subs every month, I don't intend to revisit Magic until they rotate. That's my plan.
I bear a message from... Oh, hey, what's that?
I'm going to play Zoe here first, so that way she can see us play these other cards, so we can work on leveling her.
What once was 2, now is 1.
Yeah, so the counting subs up from the start every month, I think is more accurate in terms of conveying where we're at. So displaying my current sub count concurrently for the last 30 days doesn't really communicate when piles of sub gifts are going to fall off, basically. Because I was looking at my metrics and like I had a decent number of concurrent subs, but like over the course of the next 3 or 4 days, like hundreds were going to fall off because they were gifted subs. And while some gifted subs renew, a majority don't. Nox leans aggro, but they have a ton of mid-range options, and mid-range leaning can claw options that just don't have a ton of value cards. Yeah, I agree with that, MTuck. That's why you usually see Noxious control decks paired with, you see Noxious control decks typically paired with another region that generates card advantage for them. Higher tier subs do not count multiple. Silence. We should get back into Magic when Historic rotates. I mean, to be fair, if they actually got up off their butts and banned Muxus and Uro, it would be like rotating that format, right? I think we're full mulliganing here, looking for cheap things that play to the board against their aggro deck. Sweet. Plaza Succession while we're attacking on odds here is very good against aggro.
I have my orders.
Okay, so now I just do this, right? Playing this out is better than Plaza Succession next turn. And then playing Plaza this turn doesn't accomplish anything without any mana, so definitely just want to play Zoe. Am I successioning here? Or not? I could Star Chart, but I'm probably just looking for a unit with that. Yeah, I think I succession here and just keep my life total high. And honestly, if they open attacks next turn, I might just full board trade. Just keep my life total super high. Keeping my life total high against their Darius deck has a lot of value. What if we sharp sight Zoe? Let's do that. I like that. They have like Culling Strike or Death Sand to finish her. That's a Culling Strike or a Death Sand that's not killing something else. I think that's still a win for me. Yeah, again, just like keeping my life total as high as possible to try and prevent their Darius from hitting that 10 and leveling up is ideal. I think I just let this happen. I think I need to save this Hush for a big Overwhelm unit down the line. Oh, you know what? I should have... I think I should have used her thing last turn, because then when I hit Danger Noodle, I could have played Noodle and then Radiant Guardian last turn.
Mine is the hand of Noxus.
The problem with that, Lambton, is if they don't block the goat, which they're not likely to, they have more Overwhelm units. So I don't think they're likely to block the goat there. So I think attacking first is pretty wrong. Crescent Strike. Nailed it. Sometimes lucky, chat. Sometimes lucky.
Virtue guides me.
I think I have to play this because she can kill this. Okay, so this means I get to Spell Thief and Decisive Maneuvers next turn. No, I'm just quick, Cody.
Riddle me something cool. I call this constellation the Jump Rope.
I'm gemming this so it can trade with Iron Ballista.
I will end this here.
Wheel turns. Day becomes night. Time to be colors.
They could have Battle Fury. A lot of these builds that play Maneuver don't also have room to play Battle Fury. So we could just see another Maneuver here. Hush means this doesn't get to Overwhelm, so I'm just going to take 8 in the middle. Yeah, Maneuver and Fury occupy a similar slot as accurate. Our next turn's gonna be sick. We get to go this, Scout Attack, kill this, play Radiant Guardian. Oh, they're all Scouts! They're all Scouts, chat! Oh, they're all Scouts! Oh, I don't even know if that's good. It's good with Zoe. Zoe gets the Scout Attack. Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. They're all gonna be lifesteal in a second here, too.
I fight for the fallen.
That was super fun, and I gotta say,
Alright, I'm sold. I'm sold on the Scout, chat. I'm sold on the Grizzled whatever. We're gonna update the debt list on the site to have the Grizzled Ranger in it. Grizzled Ranger being able to attack, die, play Radiant Guardian, and then also attack with Radiant Guardian in the same turn is huge. Yeah, so Zoe level up is very sweet. Very good. Oh, we've been on this one for 90 minutes already. Alright. Sorry, I want to make sure we get through at least 3 decks today. I want to play some Witcher as well, so we're going to be done with this one. This deck is great. I am really glad we played with Grizzled Ranger here in this set. I was super happy with that inclusion. I think especially that last game where we saw Grizzled Ranger attack, pop itself, and then give us Radiant Guardian to attack with Lifesteal the same turn was also good. It's not that I disliked Grizzled Ranger before, it's that I just hadn't tried it. So this wasn't a card that I had played in Zoe Lux before, and I like this inclusion a lot. Windowhead, thank you for the very generous sub gifties. I appreciate that. Did anyone in the Runeterra community predict Zoe was going to turn out this strong? No, not at all. I think there were people like myself in the Runeterra community that expected Zoe to be playable. I didn't expect her to be as good as she is. She's really, really good. Wonder if Blinding Assault might be a little bit similar to Succession for similar reasons. So, I like Succession because it costs a little bit more mana, which pairs nicely with Lux. But I guess we don't have a lot of 3s in this deck, so maybe that's not the case. I do like, you're right that Blinding Assault lets us get that same kind of Scout Attack, play Radiant Guardian, and then and then attack with Radiant Guardian the same turn. The stat line on Succession has been really good a lot of times. Like, I think if you go back and watch through that last set, the number of times where we attacked with Succession, and the number of times where we attacked with Succession and then our thing survived, whereas if it had been Blinding Assault, Valor would have died, was huge. Yeah, Blinding Assault lets you Zoe on 1, Plaza Assault on 2, but the stat line on Succession is really important, I think, in a lot of spots. Is Ashe Lux mid-range control playable from a few seasons ago? We've not gotten back to that, Dude Light. We're gonna, there is an Ashe Fiora deck that has some similar ideas, but a little bit more aggressive in the deck queue that I think we're gonna get to tomorrow. Yeah, this reminds me of that. This has better card advantage than that deck did, Dude Light. So like things like Star Shaping lets you go long a little bit better. Yeah, I think, and honestly, there's probably a build, I don't know if you replace Succession with Blinding Assault, but honestly, it might be worth testing Succession and Blinding Assault. And I know I just got done saying I liked Grizzled Ranger, but it could be worth testing Blinding Assault over Grizzled Ranger, because that's another spell, and it's lower on the curve, and it still does the thing that Grizzled Ranger does that I was most impressed with, which is that attacking and enabling Radiant Guardian the same turn to also attack and gain life immediately. So yeah, I think Blinding Assault's definitely worth trying. All right, let's shift gears to the next deck we're going to play here